Hi, good morning. I welcome you all to HashLearn Studios. Today we'll continue with the Quantitative Aptitude part of your IBPS Clerk Prelims 2018, and today's topic is ratio. So today's goal is to understand the different types of problems on the topic of ratios. See, whenever they give you the ratio, always the ratio will be multiplied with some common constant. Example, if the ages, if I say if the ages of two person, number 1 and number 2 are in the ratio 3:5, means what does the exact age will give you? Age of the first person will be 3x and age of the second person will be 5x. So what is x? X is a common constant which is multiplied to both. Okay, so for all the problems, whenever you have the ratios, make sure you multiply with some constant k or x or y, whatever the notation you want to give, you can always give and consider and solve the problem. Okay, so let us take an example. Here is an example. As I told you, if the ratios are given, always you should multiply them with some constant. The sum of three numbers is 98. If the ratio of the first to the second is 3:2 and that of the second to third is 5:8, then what is the second number? So how many numbers are there? Three numbers. I will write this as number 1, number 2 and number 3. So the sum of these three numbers is 98 if the ratio of the first and second is 2:3 and that of the second is to third is 5:8. So attention students, why I am writing this in the first row and this in the second row? The simple reason is you have to make the common part same. Which is the common part here? N2, the number 2. How will you make same? Very simple. 3 into 5 is 15. So what is the factor? 5 and 3 are the factors. You can multiply this with 5 and this with 3. Once you multiply, 5 into 2 is 10, 5 into 3 is 15, or 3 into 5 is also 15, 8 3s are 24. So this is how you should get the ratio of three numbers. Common part is n2, we are making it same by multiplying an appropriate number. So the ratio will be 10x, 15x, 24x. These are the three numbers. This is your number 1, this is your number 2, this is your number 3. So what is the total? 10x plus 15x plus 24x. The total number is 98. 98. So what does that will give you? 10, 20, 20, 49. X is equal to 98. Then what will be x? X will be equal to 2. So what is the question they are asking you? They are asking you second number. What is n2? N2 is 15 times x. So which will be equal to 15 into 2 is 30, which is your option B. So here the one important part which you should make a note is number 2, which is in different ratio. The first ratio is 2:3 and the second ratio is 5:8. So you have to make that number 2, the common part, to be in the same ratio, which is proportional to number 1 also and number 3 also. Best way is just you can cross multiply the terms to get the same number throughout. Okay, so with this we shall try one more example. Okay, again similar example. Here the ratio between two persons, A and B. The ratio between A and B is 3:4, and again B is to C is again 3:4. See here, how will you make the common part? The common part B, same. You multiply the whole equation, the first row with 3 and the second row you multiply this with 4, so that 3 into 3 is 9, 4 into 3 is 12, 4 into 3 is 12, 4 4 16. As I told you, all will be multiplied with some constant x throughout or k throughout. So this is 9x plus 12x plus 16x. You know that the total sum should be 370 rupees. So once you add this, what does this will give you? This is 10, 26, 36, that will give you x as 10. If x is 10, what is your A's share? The share of A is 9x, which is 9 into 10. This is A's share. Is that okay? Yeah. Let us go to the next one. Yeah, very important concept. So Nehruji had n chocolates. He distributed them among the 4 children in the ratio 1:2 is to 1:3 is to 1:5 is to 1:8. So if he gave them each one of a complete chocolate, then the minimum number of chocolates that he had, this is the one which you need to make a note. The minimum number is also called as LCM, lowest common multiple, is also called as the minimum number. So how to get the minimum number for this? LCM of the numbers 2, 3, 5 and 8. So let us check quickly. This is going into again, that will go in 4, in 3, in 5. So your LCM is 5 into 4, 20 into 6 into 12, which is 120. So LCM is 120. Then the minimum number of chocolates that he had, very simple. The first person or the 4 children are there. The first children, the first one will have 1/2. Second person 1/3. Third children, the third child will have 1/5 and the fourth one will have 1/8. So can I say your first child will have 1/2 of 120. What is 1/2 of 120? is 60. The second child will have 1/3 of 120 chocolates. This is 40, and the third child is 1/5 into 120. So that will be 5 2s are 10, 5 4s are 20, and the fourth one will have 1/8. That will be equal to 15. So if you add 4 plus 5 is 9. So unit digit is 9. How many options you have unit digit 9? You have 3 options. Then better add them. 10, 11, 12, 13. So 139 is in the option A. The minimum number of chocolates that he had is 139, which is option A. Is that okay? Any confusion? Fine. Let us go to the next example. The total number of students of a school was 660. Okay. The ratio between the boys and girls, let me take initially boys and girls. The ratio is 13:9, means 13x plus 9x will give you 660. Okay. After some days, 30 girls joined the school. What does this will give you? 13 plus 9 will be 22. X is equal to 660. Therefore, x will be 22 into 3, 30. Therefore, your boys, how many boys were there? 13x, 13 into 3, and girls is 9 into 30, 9 3s are 27. So these were, so many boys were there and so many girls were there. After some days, 30 girls joined the school. So after some days, how many are joining? 30 girls are joining, and some boys left the school. The new ratio between boys and girls. So I will make the ratio between boys and girls is 6:5. 30 girls joined the school. So 270 plus 30, and some boys left the school. Out of 390 boys, some K boys are leaving. You consider. Just simplify this. What will be your answer? You need to find K. So that will give you 390 minus K is equal to 6/5 into 27. This is 300. So that will give you 5 1s are 5 6s are 30. This is 360. This is 390 minus K. So what will be your K? 390 minus 360 is 30 boys just left the school. So this is one important step. After some days, you need to take the number of girls is increasing by 30, and whereas the number of boys are decreasing, minus K. So cross multiply, you will be able to get the answer as option C. Okay, fine. Let us go to the next problem. The students in 3 classes are in the ratio this is your class 1, class 2 and class 3. They are in the ratio 4:6:9. If 12 students are increased in each class, so I can write this as 4x, 6x, 9x. If 12 students are increased in each class, the ratio changes to. So what is the new? C1, C2, C3. 4x plus 12 divided by, I will take this as between C1 and C2, 4x plus 12 and 6x plus 12. The new ratio is 7:9 they are telling. So can you cross multiply and get what is x? When you cross multiply, 9 4s are 36, 12 9, cross multiply, 9 4s are 36, 12 into 9, 7 6 are 42x, then 12 into 7, so that should give you 42x minus 36x, 108 minus 84, that should give you 6x, and this is 16 plus 8 is 24, 6 into 4. So your final x will be equal to 4. Then they are asking you to find the total number of students in the 3 classes before the increase. Very simple. Add all the things, 4x plus 6x plus 9x. That is, they are asking you to find C1 plus C2 plus C3. So that will give you 19x. So 19 into 4. Option B. This is one of the important concept. The step C1 is to C2 we are considering. So C1 after increased by 12 numbers, 4x plus 12 it will become, 6x plus 12 it will become, the ratio is we are calculating with respect to C1 and C2, the ratio will be 7:9. Just cross multiply and find x, then you can add all the 3, C1 plus C2 plus C3, 3 classrooms, strength, the strength total is 76. Okay, let us go to the next example. The income of A and B are in the ratio 5:3, the expenses of A, B, C are in the ratio 5:2. If C spends 2000, B saves 700, then how much A saves? So before this you should know what exactly your saving is. You know that you are saving is income minus your expense. Okay, fine. What is the income? The income of A and B are in the ratio 5:3. So, I can write it as 5x and I can write this as 3x. And what is your expense? Your expenses of ABC are in the ratio. I will take this as 5y, 5y and 2y. And how much B saves? Your saving is income minus expense. So, B saving is how much? 700 rupees. B saving 700 rupees. So, what was B's saving? That is, B's income is 3x income of B is 3x minus expense of B is 5y and that should be equal to 700 rupees. And what is the expense of C? C's expense is how much? 2y and that should be equal to 2000 because he is spending. So, your y will be equal to 1000 rupees. Just you can put y as 1000 here and can you tell me what is 5 into 1000 is 5000, this is 700. So, your 3x will be equal to 5700, x will be 5700 divided by 3, that will give you 3 ones are 3, 3 nines are 27. So, your x will be equal to 1900. Then how much A is saving? You know that A saves income minus expense. What is income of A? 5x minus expense is 5y. So, what does that will give you? 5 into x minus y. So, what is x? You know that, I will just write it here. Your A saves 5, x is 1900 minus y is 1000, 9 into 5 is 4500 is the total saving. So, 900 into 5, it is 4500 is the amount A saves. Is that okay? Fine. So, here is the problem, the contest question of the previous session. The problem was, in a box of fruits there were 25% apples, 40% oranges and the rest were mangoes. You know that the rest is nothing but 40 plus 25, 40 plus 25 is 65, rest are mangoes, 100 minus 65 is 35. You know that 35% were mangoes. How many mangoes were there in the box? So, mangoes is 35% of 2000 fruits. So how to find 35%? So you know that 10% is 200, 5% will be 100. So 35% is one is you can do 35 by 100 into 2000, or you can just take 200 is 10%, 200, 200, 200 plus 100, that is 700, option B. Okay, so that was the problem which you solved in the previous session, and the next is the contest time. Here is the question. A sum of money is divided among A, B, C and D are in the ratio 3:5:8:9 respectively. If the share of D is 1872 rupees more than the share of A, then what is the total amount of B and C? Okay. Yeah. Let us come to the next problem. Rupees 180 contain in a box the number of 1 rupee coins, 50 paise coins, 25 paise coins are in the ratio 2:3:4 respectively. So 1 rupee, 50 paisa, you know that 50 paisa is nothing but half rupees, and 25 paisa is nothing but 1/4 of the rupees. Always the coins which you consider should be in the form of rupees. So make sure 50 paise coin you write it as half rupees, 25 paise coins you take it as 1/4 of the rupees. Okay, they are in the ratio 2:3:4 respectively. Then the number of 50 paise coins, as I told you, your amount, total amount 180 will be equal to number of coins into the rupee, that is 2x. You will have 2x coins of 1 rupees each, plus you will have 3x coins of half rupees. You will have 4x coins of 1/4 rupees. The total will be equal to 180. Is it clear? Okay. So how to do the simplification now? See, don't disturb the denominator. 4 is the LCM. You can multiply with 4 and divide with 4. Here you can multiply with 2 and divide with 2. Once you do that, the denominator part will be 4 is equal to 180. Just multiply the numerator. 4 into 2 is 8 x, 3 2 are 6x, 4x is equal to 180. So 10 is 18x in the numerator by 4 is equal to 180. You can cancel 18 with 18, x is equal to 40. The meaning here, the constant which is multiplied to the ratio is 40. So they are asking you 50 paisa coins. So your number of 50 paisa coins will be equal to 3x, will be equal to 3 into 40, which is 120, option B. Is that okay? So most of them get confused in taking the paises to rupees. So make sure when they give you 50 paisa coins, you take half rupees. When they give you 25 paisa coins, take 1/4 of the rupees. Suppose if they give you 10 paisa coins, what you will take? 1/10 of the rupees. Suppose if it is 20 paisa coins, you should take 1/5 of the rupees. Suppose if it is 5 paisa coins, 1/20th rupees. So in that way you need to take the terms and simplify the problem. Let's go to the next one. A mixture contains milk and water in the ratio 5:1. On adding 5 liters of water, the ratio of milk and water becomes 5:2. Then the quantity of the milk in the original mixture is. Okay. What is the milk and water? The mixture of milk and water are in the ratio 5:1, means I will take the milk as 5x and this fellow as 1x. On adding 5 liters of water, the ratio of the milk and water becomes 5:2. After adding 5 liters of water, what happens when you add 5 liters of water? The ratio is becoming, this is becoming 5/2, 5/2. Milk will be milk only, 5x, whereas the water will be what? This is your milk is to water ratio. Your water was 1x. Initially you are adding 5 liters. So initial milk was 5x and water was 1x. After adding 5 liters of water, what happens? It will become 1x initially plus extra 5 liters of water. How many of them understood this relation, ratio between milk and water after adding 5 liters of water? Once you are done with this, just simply calculate x, you will be able to get the answer. So what is x here? Cross multiply, 5 into 2 is 10x, 5x plus 25, shift, you will get 5x is equal to 25, then x will be equal to 5. The question is, what is the quantity of the milk? Original mixture, right? So therefore originally the milk was 5x, 5 into 5 which is 25 is there in the option? Yes. Okay, fine. Let us go to the next example. Here is an alloy. An alloy contains copper, zinc, nickel. The quantity of a nickel in kg that must be added to 100 kg of this alloy to have the new ratio 5:3:3 is. Okay. See here, what is the nickel here? The first one is copper, second one is zinc, and the third one is nickel. So your nickel is 2 out of 5 plus, or better I will write 2 parts out of 5, 6, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So this is your in the first case. In the second case, your nickel is 3 parts out of 5 plus 3 plus 3. How much that will give you? 3 by 11. 3 by 11. So what was your the quantity of nickel that must be added to 100 kg? So for 100 kg initially it will be 100 kg, your nickel is 100 kg into 2 out of 10. So what does that will give you? Cancels. So you have 20 kgs of nickel. So how much you are adding? What is the ratio? You are adding x kgs, and in the denominator will be 100 plus x kgs, and the ratio of the nickel will be 3 by 11. Once you cross multiply, what happens? 11 into 2 is 22 plus 11 into x is 11x, 3 into 100 is 300 plus 3x. So just you find x, cross multiply 11 minus 3, 8, 300 minus 220, 80. So x will be 10. Is there in the option? Yes. So x is equal to 10 kg is the answer. Okay, which is option B. Any confusion? Okay, let us go to the next problem. The ratio of the ages of Ram and Rahim 10 years ago was 1:3. The ratio of their ages 5 years hence will be 2:3. Then the ratio of their present ages is so let the present ages be for Ram x years, Rahim y years. So 10 years ago, what is the ratio? The ratio is x minus 10, y minus 10 is equal to 1/3. what does that will give you? 3x minus 30 is equal to y minus 10, or 3x minus y is equal to 30 minus 10 is 20. You can keep this as equation 1. 5 years after, the age will be x plus 5 and y plus 5. The ratio is given as 2:3. So once you simplify, you will have 3x plus 5 3s are 15, 2y plus 10. Once you do the simplification, 3x minus 2y is equal to minus 5. You can treat this as second equation. What you can do, you can just solve these two simultaneous equations. You will get the answer. So if I solve, if I change the sign, I will change the sign for this and this, okay. This will become minus and this will become plus sign and this will become plus sign. So 3x cancels, 2 minus y is y, and 25. This is 20 plus 5 is 25. Once you put there, so 3x minus y is equal to 20. When you put y as 25, 3x is equal to 20 plus 25. 3x is equal to 45. The age of x will be 15, 3s are 45. Therefore, what is the ratio? 15:25, which is 3:5. Option C is the answer. The ratio of the ages of Ram and Rahim 10 years ago, 1:3. Then after 5 years will be 2:3. Then the present will be x:y. So you have to find x and y. Their ages are 15 and 25. Presently the ratio is 3:5. Okay, fine. Let us take an example. The price of the book varies directly as the number of pages in it and inversely as the time periods in years that have elapsed since the date of purchasing. The two books cost the same, however the number of pages in the first book is triple the second book. If the first book was sold 18 years ago, how long was the second book was sold? Yeah, see here, let P is the price, of book, N is number of pages, and T is time in years. So what is that he has given? Your price is directly proportional to the number of pages in it and inversely proportional to the time. So therefore your formula P is equal to, when you remove proportionality sign with constant, it will be T. There are two books. Your P1 will be some constant times N1 by T1 and your P2 will be N2 by T2, and you know that he has given P1 is 3 times P2. The two books cost same. He has given the cost of two books is same. The number of pages in the first book is triple the second book. So P1 is equal to P2 is given, means you can write it as N1 by T1 is equal to N2 by T2. What does that will give you? the number of pages in the first book is triple the second book. So attention students, this is T1, this is T2, this is N1 and this is N2. First book is 3 times N. This is the first and this is the second. If the number of books in second is N, then the first book will be 3 times N. This is one very important step. And 18 years ago, this is 18 and this fellow will be time. You can just cancel the terms. If you can cancel the terms, N will cancel with N, 3 1s are 3 6s are 18. So your T will be equal to 6. Which is option C. Is that okay? Yeah, fine. The similar type of problems on ratios are given. There are 10 questions which you can try solving them in the home. Okay. Thanks for joining. We shall continue in the next class. See you.